Oh, I'm gonna need to.
In sync.
I don't know if we're live. There we are.
Hello there.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
welcome, everybody, to another Friday Night Rage. So, guys, we are going to be here tonight talking all things Kenobi. So, if you haven't, I don't know if you guys have watched it yet, the three of you, but if you have not watched the Kenobi trailer, I suggest you go and watch the Kenobi trailer now because that's all we're talking about tonight.
Oh,
Wait, there's a trailer?
Watch.
Yeah, it dropped, man, like 2 days ago. It's awesome.
You know
It's
what?
awesome.
I was watching the Batman trailer over and over again. Completely forgot Kenobi even just existed. I'm just kidding.
The bat who?
So before we get going, we'll do some introductions here, guys. First off, I am Darth Rage. This is my channel. If you don't like it, you can leave. That's all I get to say. I do cosplay. I do lightsabers, all things Star Wars. Currently working on that guy, which is the clone trooper that you see behind me. I can't stop looking at this. I mean, I really can't stop looking at this.
Oh, that's killer. Looks
So
nice.
that's me. That's me in a nutshell. Next up, we got this guy.
What's up, guys? Absolute Sabers. You probably know me on YouTube for mainly doing sabers. It's almost like that stuff you get for your garden fence. It does exactly what it says in the tin. You can follow me on Instagram, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Next up, hello.
Hi, I'm the Blues Bro. My name's Elvis. I like lightsabers. I make stuff. But no, if you find me on Instagram and YouTube, the Blues Bro. Been doing some 3D printing tutorials lately that's going pretty good.
Fun stuff. And last but definitely not least.
Hi, I'm the Real Jedi Princess. I also go by Natalia. I'm on Instagram and recently YouTube, or restarted on YouTube. Yeah, I'm all things Star Wars and anime on my account. Mainly Star Wars, as you can see from my background alone. But yeah, thanks, Tim, for inviting me.
Absolutely. So Kenobi.
Finally.
I don't think I need to ask, did you like the trailer? Because I think anybody who enjoys Star Wars, absolutely just that trailer. So I'll ask you this. Was that the best Star Wars trailer you've ever seen? And me, in my mind, that is up there with, for me, it was The Force Awakens was the next best, because that was the first time we get to see new Han, new Chewie. That trailer where he came in and did that Chewie, we're home, was just like hit me in the feels the way that this trailer hit me in the feels. So to me, this one knocked it out of the park, 10 out of 10. That's, so I'm interested in what you guys thought about that overall.
That nostalgia feel that you got watching, Force Awakens, I definitely got that with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It just felt so. The prequels are back, like
familiar.
that was my moment, but yeah, I mean, I remember getting really excited about Attack of the Clones trailers. I don't know if it's just the fact because we saw more than 2 lightsabers on screen for the first time. Well, I guess Phantom Menace had 4 or whatever, but I remember seeing little shots. They had a bunch of teaser posters, and it was like a million Jedi in the background with a lightsaber in their hand. And I was like, oh, we're going to see an army of lightsabers. But, I mean, other than that, no, I'd say it's still the best trailer.
Aye.
With me, I mean, so I think for example, when I grew up watching the prequels, I was 5 when Phantom Menace came out. So putting out my age there. So I obviously don't remember watching the Phantom Menace trailer. I do remember Revenge of the Sith very vividly. And I think it's because it was all Vader, and I was very all about Vader in 5th grade. I had the mask and everything. So I think that one stood out to me. But now we're coming into the new times where trailers are much more crisp in quality, much more I don't know. They give you much more mystery than I think trailers in the past do. They're very like when I look back at a lot of movie trailers, you're like, oh yeah, you have a sense of what's about to happen.
Well, and this is a trailer for a TV show,
and it's a trailer for a TV show,
not for a
and not
movie
a movie.
either. And the way they market it is different because basically most of these people already have a subscription to Disney Plus, so it's just a matter of getting them to tune in, not getting them to pay $20. So it's a completely different marketing strategy as well. But this did feel like a cinematic trailer.
It did, yeah.
I mean, and it's because it's Obi-Wan. It's because of what it is, I think. But
and it's just a teaser.
Yeah,
it's just the teaser trailer. That's true. It's just the teaser trailer. So, like for example, my top 3 ones now are. So people might think weird of me for this, but I really love the Rise of Skywalker trailer. I think I still cry every single time I watch it.
The one where that starts and she does the little flippy over the TIE fighter.
That, and then the second I hear the laugh,
the music on that one is epic. The music on that one is
Orlando, and then you hear the laugh. I was crying the entire time. So basically, like Obi-Wan's trailer is right underneath Rise of Skywalker because Duel of Fates chills. Like I was freaking out. I was just like, oh my god, wait a minute. Like I'm not watching The Phantom Menace. This is like 2022. Like this is like we're hearing this again. So it's like it was very overwhelming.
Yeah, and I think that you nailed it though. It was the music. It's the fact that John Williams is involved in this show. And I don't know if he wrote the music for that trailer or if they just kind of, put together the editor put that together.
I was telling that to Sam. I don't know about you guys, but I felt something new about this
it felt like it was remixes of song. It felt like right off the bat that was a slower version of Duel of the Fates that then went into Duel of the Fates, but it may have even been the hero's song from when Anakin and Obi-Wan fight, but that was also in there. And now it's weird because those themes were also plays on Vader's theme, and so you're kind of getting remixes of all this shit now, and it's John Williams is a masterpiece.
I would go as far as to say that I think the Kenobi trailer would possibly be the most anticipated Star Wars trailer of all time.
Oh yeah. I mean, and technologies to thank for that. People are used to that. People are used to trailer breakdown videos now. Like they have to go debrief and analyze and like we're about to do.
I think that the release of The Force Awakens I don't know if that was at Star Wars Celebrations or what it was, where there was the whole room full of people and some people were online, but it like blacked out right when they did it and they had a fucking heart attack.
Force Awakens, if I'm not mistaken, was it was at Celebration.
Yeah.
It was at Celebration. I wasn't there at that celebration.
And if you there's videos of it online, you should watch it. It's pretty cool. Just seeing the group reaction to those trailers.
Downtown Disney. Then The Force Awakens trailer, Downtown Disney, I think. I've seen some reactions online to that. But in terms of, I mean, going through my kind of memories, the ones that I was kind of really hyped for, Revenge of the Sith, because we knew we were getting that transformation from Skywalker to Vader. Spoiler alert. Massive spoiler alert. Rogue One.
I have to go back and rewatch that because I don't really even remember that trailer. Which is weird. I remember the Phantom Menace trailer. Yeah. But I don't remember that trailer.
That one was, they basically gave the thing away at the end, the whole kind of ride.
The helmet scene and all that was in the trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like you saw him coming into it, if I'm not mistaken.
It was so good.
You saw it before the movie for sure. Like I don't think there was much more to that scene outside of the trailer.
But then the Rogue One trailer, though, like that was so highly anticipated because of the significance of that movie had to. 2 seconds, guys. My lights are doing something really strange. There we go. The significance that had to A New Hope.
Yes.
Which I know we're getting off Kenobi real quick, but I just have to. I don't know if you guys have ever heard how he pitched that movie.
No.
He basically just went in and said, "Okay, the crawl from Star Wars." He's like, "We're going to make that into a movie. Go back and read the crawl and from Star Wars, and it's fucking Rogue One. That's awesome." So that was basically his pitch. We're going to make the crawl. And
you're not wrong.
Good
I've
idea.
just thought about that.
Good idea. So, all right. So back on Obi-Wan. I wasn't surprised at what we did see and what we didn't see. I think I was just super excited to see everything that we saw. I kind of did think we were going to see him ignite a lightsaber, which we didn't. And then that really begs the question, do you think how long until he ignites a lightsaber in the show? Will he ignite it in the first episode? I don't think so. I think he's gonna hide I think they're gonna save that for one, either flashbacks that we see back into the Clone Wars or when he meets Vader. And every other time he's, because they said it right in the beginning, you gotta hide. You've gotta hide. So do you think we're gonna see how long until we see a lightsaber from Obi-Wan?
I'd give it maybe the third, if not third to fourth episode.
Yeah.
There's only 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think it's when he sees Vader. Honestly, I think it's when he sees Vader.
I think it'll be first episode because I think we'll see it in flashbacks. The first
I
time
think
one out,
yes. But I'm saying not in flashback form. Will he? I mean, who does he? I don't think he's going to use it against the Inquisitors. Honestly.
Yeah, because it's a dead giveaway as soon as he pulls it out.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be, but he can't hide from Vader. Vader knows who he is.
The thing of this whole series, they need to be so careful because there's so many lines in A New Hope. Like the one that sticks out to me really is, well, there's two really. The first one is, Tarkin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, surely he'd be dead by now. Well, wait a minute, this is how many years before A New Hope? This series?
This is 10 years before A New Hope, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Right. So
what's supposed to be 20 and
so again,
and the dude ages.
Why would Tarkin think he'd be dead by now? It's only 10 years, and obviously Vader knows that he was alive 10 years previous. So that's number one. And number two is the whole, when I left you, I was but the learning around the master, blah, 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 blah. But they can set that up a different way because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Vader didn't leave Kenobi. Kenobi left Vader. He left him there.
That's what he said. When I left you, I was but the learner. And we've always assumed he was talking about the learner on the good side. From being Anakin, but he was a learner of the dark side, is what he's referencing. Now he's a master of the dark side. He's So
I think you're right with the lightsaber thing. I think it's going to be a few episodes. If he goes off world, which it looks like he will, then I don't think he'll have an issue busting the saber out off world.
Yeah, I think that's a key too, because he doesn't want to bring any attention to Tatooine.
Exactly.
Because, that's his home and he's protecting Luke.
Yeah, the second that Vader gets on Tatooine, he's going to sense. He will sense him. Whether he...
Well, that's it.
That's it. Game over.
Good thing Vader doesn't like sand.
That's true.
Right.
Now, I was watching, I think it was Star Wars Theory's reaction to the trailer. And he was talking about how Obi-Wan's, sole mission is basically protecting Luke. So for him to leave the planet, number one, what is it that gets him to leave? Which, spoiler alert, I've heard things. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about what it is that the mission that he's on. You can kind of get an idea from the casting of people because they've cast Bail Organa. So,
who, by the way, does not age
like rescue Princess Leia, which would be awesome. But for him to leave Luke, does he leave somebody else there to protect Luke? And if so, who is it? Could it be Ahsoka? Could we see Ahsoka in this series just keeping an eye, making sure nothing happens? Or does he just leave?
I'm not going to lie. As much as I love my girl, as you can tell, she is the light of my life. And I have her sabers right here. I do not want to see Ahsoka in this show. I don't want to see it.
Not even flashback Clone Wars Ahsoka?
Well, flashback. Well, number one, flashbacks. See, that's what I got the Clone Wars online for, like on animated for. The most anticipated thing I want to see flashback wise is Obi-Wan, Anakin, Rex, and Cody. I want to see them live action in flashbacks. But Ahsoka, to me, I don't know. We already saw her in The Mandalorian. We saw her in the Book of Boba.
Yeah, I'd love to see her in that.
We know she's getting her own show. I also think it's a danger for Ahsoka to see Obi-Wan again.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a big danger because he's not no one's supposed to know where he's at. And when Anakin, I don't know, we've seen it in the Force where certain Force users have this ability to look into other people's minds. And I think for Obi-Wan's own safety, obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the Ahsoka show if they ever reunite past in this current timeline. But I don't know. I think for Obi-Wan's safety, Ahsoka should not meet at all.
And I could, see that, and I could dig that, and from the trailer, it kind of seems like he's living almost Rey's existence, because they got that shot of him where everybody's kind of walking by, and it looks like he's cleaning something or doing some type of menial labor. The poor guy's on public transit, to get to wherever it is he's going.
He ends up being a hermit. But that's why everyone's like, oh yeah, that hermit guy, that one.
So he's
the only way I think it would play.
Giving it up.
The only way I think it would play is if Ahsoka is somehow the way the information gets to Leia in the next 10 years, so that when Leia is really in trouble, she hits that beeper code, end of the world code, send this to Kenobi. But if I remember right, Bail Organa was in the room when Obi-Wan said, I'm going to take him to
Tatooine. Yeah.
To be with his family. Uncle. Okay. Yeah. Because if he was in the room, then obviously he would have that information. So, yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if Bail Organa sends a little, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi message to him?
Going back to what you're saying about do they leave someone on Tatooine? There's been rumors and plot leaks as such about the kind of opening plot for the first episode, which is, and again, I don't know if this is true or not. It could be.
Yeah, this is speculation.
This is speculation, although there is some evidence to support it in the trailer that 2 Jedi are being chased by the Inquisitors and end up on Tatooine. And there is a scene,
the 2 pods going off in the trailer.
But there is a scene in the trailer where you have one of the Inquisitors, I believe it's the third sister, jumping over a table, igniting her saber, and you've got a kid in a poncho who clearly has the Jedi Order.
Okay, so that's Reva. We're calling her third sister now?
She's apparently the third sister.
Okay. I hadn't heard that news yet, because in the entertainment article they named her Reva, if I'm not mistaken.
Which was the only one I've ever heard that wasn't a brother or a sister, other than the Grand Inquisitor.
So I think there could be something to the 2 Jedi story, but I don't think it's on Tatooine. I know the scene you're talking about, and maybe they got to Tatooine later, but I think that chase is going to happen on that off-world where it kind of looks like a underworld Coruscant market or something.
So you think that's where they're chasing the Jedi?
Well, and because you have multiple Inquisitors with multiple troops, stormtroopers with them, it would seem as if they're chasing 2 different people on that world, and then Obi-Wan is like a bystander in the shadows, just kind of watching.
Yeah.
And how, impactful will that be if he just sits and lets them take another Jedi? You know, just because he knows that he can't, if he exposes himself.
Well, and then we
he's
see
never
him
gonna cross.
shooting on a roof with a blaster, right?
Yep.
Which would also suggest he doesn't want to be found. He can't ignite a lightsaber. I don't know. It's fun to speculate, but if anyone's like, I heard this rumor, this is an official leak or whatever, I don't want to know. Just let me think everything is fake.
I did read something with Kathleen Kennedy, how when she got the original script, she basically made them change it to make it more hopeful at the end. She's like, it's, it was just too dark all the way through. She's like, obviously it's going to have to start in a really dark spot from where he's at because of, what just happened, 10 years earlier. But she's like, it can't just be all doom and gloom. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm so prepared to hate the ending now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of said it in the trailer with the, between darkness and whatever lies hope.
We lost.
I'm exactly what I did with Book of Boba and every other Star Wars show that's come out since then. And I'm going to force myself to have the lowest expectation. And I know it's because of Kenobi. Because if I put myself too high and I don't like it, I'm going to be pissed. So I come too low and I'm like, and it gets really good. I'm like, yes.
Well, the ending really has to have some sort of overriding message of hope, because then you've got obviously a new hope. And
look, him saving Princess Leia, who we know ends up becoming kind of the leader of this rebellion. I mean, that could be what this whole thing is about,
potentially.
Is that the line he said in the trailer? Did he say hope?
It was the text on screen was between, was it despair and darkness lies hope? And that was
did he say that, or did it play on screen right before he says stay hidden?
It played on screen at the very end. The stay hidden was at the beginning, I think.
When he's looking at Luke.
Yeah.
And then later in the trailer, it shows him talking in that same spot, and he says "stay hidden," but it wasn't like right after he saw him. I think it was. I thought it was right after. I'll rewatch it. I don't know, but I've
only watched it like 20 times, but it's still all.
Because they already played that card at the end of Rogue One.
Everyone said I've only watched this X amount of time.
At the end of Rogue One, when Princess Leia says.
What is this?
When they say, what is it? It's hope or whatever.
Yeah.
So if they end with it's hope again at the end of Kenobi, we'll be like, come on.
I mean, I think the hope of it is going to be that he lives through whatever encounter he has with Vader and manages to keep Luke and Leia a secret from him,
What if this, and again, we're supposed to be getting multiple encounters between Kenobi and Vader in this.
Mm-hmm.
At least 2, from what I've read. Anyway, I digress. What if they fight and Vader leaves him messed up to the point where he walks away and doesn't even think that he's going to survive whatever's just happened?
Because he's not the master. He's the master in A New Hope, right? So if he beat his ass, I don't think he'd be saying in A New Hope, the last time we were together, I was just a learner. He wouldn't say that.
Well, then again, when he did say that, it was 1977.
I get that.
He said when I left you too, so it's not like he got beat in Obi-Wan, so it's kind of, but I don't see why Vader would leave him though. And I think we're all over analyzing a line that that was written
right.
way longer, and by a guy that's not really good at writing dialogue. But
I mean, potentially, but it isn't just a throwaway line though. It is a really important line.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And that's why people are making a big deal of it, because it isn't just a throwaway. It is a really important line in terms of that trilogy.
No, it's true.
And they have taken that and gone, right, okay, well, he said when I left you, but the last time it was he left. So we've got to see something, and it's got to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And it should be, again, Vader in his prime, which hopefully will be even better than the, end of Rogue One Vader. I mean, I want a Vader that can move, a Vader that can use his lightsaber, that it just isn't.
They both were in train, like Ewan and Hayden were in training.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how much of that is for the Anakin stuff, because I know they've got a stunt guy that does the Vader suit fighting stuff. So Hayden's not necessarily doing the Vader suit.
He should have just pulled an Adam Driver and said, I'm doing all my own stunts.
He could have. I didn't think he was large enough to, though. I mean, honestly, I know that they can fix it to where he can do, scenes in the suit and give him lifts and
put him on stilts.
But
I don't know. Hayden's quite a big guy. He used to play hockey. He's like 6'5".
And there's a stunt court. We'll see.
6'5". Yeah. He ain't no 6'5".
He's like 6'2".
How tall is Hayden?
6'7".
He's a big guy, man. He used to play hockey.
If he's 6'2", I'm surprised.
6'1". Same height as me. I should have remembered that.
So
no. Really?
That's still tall. I mean, I could pull off a Vader, but I'm a big dude.
Yeah, that's 6 inches that they've got to, but I do believe it's, his training was for, I think we're going to see some really crazy Clone Wars stuff. And I wonder, how do they tie that in? Because I don't think it'll just be flashbacks for flashback's sake. I think it will tie into the story. And I think that's going to be really unique.
I mean, we've already seen it in these shows. Flashbacks.
And the flashbacks in Boba Fett were all, I think those were the best of the early episodes, were the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll see some cool scenes, possibly with Vader and the Inquisitors, where he's basically torture training them.
I told Sam I want to see that. I told Sam I want to see him training these Inquisitors.
I want to see him torturing Jedi.
I was gypped of it in Rebels, and I want redemption.
We see that scene, don't we, where they're kind of, and if anyone's played Jedi Fallen Order, the Inquisitors' castle as such,
Inquisitorium,
that's the one, and Vader's ship is there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same type shuttle.
Yeah, he doesn't let anybody just fly around in one of them. Was that a Lambda class? He doesn't let anybody just.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I mean,
like Moff Tarkin could do it. Maybe some of the other Grand Moffs, the lesser known Moffs, but not just anybody.
And
I had to. You said that I had to stop that like 3 times, and then I actually had to pull it up on my computer and watch it on a bigger screen. I was like, oh yeah, there it is, because you kept saying right when I was like, where the fuck is that ship? And then I realized, that's how big that place is the ship is only, that big on the screen. But,
And here's a question as well, like, is Vader's castle even finished on Mustafar at this point?
I don't know. At first, I thought that's what they were flying up to. And,
I don't know. It took them 20 years to build the first Death Star. How long does it take to build a castle?
Yeah, so that should be done.
What I'm thinking is, if it's not, then that's where he's based himself with the Inquisitors, and you see in that shot of Vader. Entertainment Weekly put out, right?
He's got to go with his kids to live with his Inquisitors. When you're like, I have a whole empire, and these bitches can't finish this shit within 10.
Welcome to Inquisitor Island, bitch. Let's go.
That's just what
party
you're
on, dude! All the college bros. Yeah.
Surely that's where he trains them.
Oh yeah,
it would make sense,
Cole brings up this point. It surprises me, honestly, that they haven't done a Vader show, because it's an actor. They don't need an actor. It's do a show that's just Vader. You don't necessarily have to involve Hayden and make it. It surprises me that they didn't take what was their biggest commodity and show us, Vader just being Vader for, a little 6-episode run.
Well, I've read online, I don't know if there's any truth to it. I do a lot of reading, especially this past 4 days, that there is significant internal pressure to capitalize on Vader.
Yeah.
Because we've got the Force Awakens games, obviously, which I don't think obviously are canon anymore. But they were talking about doing something along that timeline about 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, and having it all surrounding Vader hunting Jedi and all that kind of stuff. Which some people think it would be a bit of a needless series. Me personally, the more Vader, the better.
We get it in comic books, right?
Yeah.
And we get it in, like, think about what was that jet. Why can't I think of it? Like my favorite video game, the one with Starkiller.
Yeah, the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed.
So that first level of Force Unleashed, when you played as Vader, like it was the coolest thing in the world, and was immediately boring in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you just have all the power, nothing can hurt you. Like it was like God mode.
Coming from a production standpoint, I think this is a test to see how Vader's going to do with this new generation. And with Rogue One was one thing, because Rogue One, I feel like Rogue One was also meant just for the OG fans, like the fans that were before the Force Awakens. But with this is a test to see how Vader does with the new crowd, the new kids growing up, because right now they had Kylo, and they all knew it was Vader's grandson. Now we see Vader again. I also think this is a test to see how Hayden does back in acting.
Potentially, yeah.
This show literally will determine Hayden's career. And I know everyone's like, it could have been anybody. They didn't have to use Hayden. They could have done there's a reason why they brought Hayden and they didn't use his like a body for Vader for anybody else. They want to see how this guy is back in the industry, because unfortunately, long time ago, Star Wars fans, and till this day, it happens. They bullied him to extinction and not coming back on TV and not coming back on movies.
Yeah, the dude quit and moved to a farm in Canada, you know?
I think he had a couple other things happen in his life too, but yeah.
Well, no, he had Jumper, and then and then when he had his daughter, he kind of really took a step back. But aside from that, he was essentially not encouraged to come back on camera. And people like bullied him off. I really think this is a test to see how he does. I'm only hoping for the best, because if this does very well for him and they want to continue to do a Vader series, if they want to do something, this kind of proves it.
Yeah.
But if Catherine
Kennedy
be like, fuck that.
As an interesting perspective, though, this generation is the sequels, and so this would be making a show about Kylo's grandpa.
Yeah.
Never would have thought of it that way.
I mean, you have to think.
No, and they don't really, he's
Vader's
not
in the
their
parks anymore. He's
not their ultimate villain. I mean, it's. Yeah, and like she's right. It's a special time when you see Vader at Disney World. He's not there anymore.
It is all Kylo. Only time you ever saw Vader, and Tim probably, I don't know if you ever did the experience where the Visa card room in Hollywood Studios.
Yep.
So you could really, at one point, you were only able to meet Vader during the day from certain hours.
Yeah, I met him at Disneyland. They've got the same thing at Disneyland for the people that have the Disney Visa card. They've got a special
aside from
meet
that,
and greet.
it's all Kylo. It is all sequels.
Like 3 years ago, I met him at Disneyland.
Order. There is no Empire. There's no Palpatine.
I mean, they'll sell merchandise. You can get the shit out of Darth Vader merchandise.
Oh, 100%. But you're not going to, like, Vader...
Unless it's Star Wars weekends down there and they got parades and shit. And,
well, that shit ended in 2015.
Yeah. I don't know what's going now. Characters are starting to come back in the parks. But they did have... Vader was a part of the big thing they do in Hollywood Studios where... like him and Maul and
you mean Swag Fafa? Yes, the Star Wars fashion show we called.
Yeah, it was basically exactly that. They would all just
he was in the parks, like Kim Boba Fett, Darth Maul.
They'd shoot off some fireworks, play some Star Wars music, and they'd all march around.
I don't think it's returning. Now that they have Galaxy's Edge in full swing.
And what about? Won't he still do the Jedi training, the Jedi trials?
Or have they gone back to full? I think
They're it's not back open yet. I know that.
I don't. You know what? If they do, I wouldn't. I don't think they will.
Because
and
it's not in Galaxy's Edge, so I would
the
think
only
that
reason
they
why I
could
say
still.
they won't is because they have let go of so many performers that were
Yeah.
Vader height. To find all those people once again is going to be impossible. Vader height is very tall. People
I'd
don't
grab
realize,
Chewie.
in a performer standpoint, how we were classified was all height ranges.
He's like, they staffed Chewie, right?
They got a whole bunch of Chewies.
Chewie's 6'4" and up because they wear stilts, but Vader it's a specific build to Vader. Like your body is different in Vader than it is in Kylo Ren. Just because you Kylo Ren, you can't do Darth Vader. So there were guys.
A buddy of mine is one of the Kylos down there.
Like one of my besties is still doing and stuff over there, and I remember it's also a very hard time right now with entertainment in Walt Disney World. Disneyland's coming back slowly, but Disney World, they're just on their own bullshit right now. But I would love if they can do Vader. This would even be better promo for Obi-Wan Kenobi if they did Vader and then the Seventh Sister. Just saying, you can fight them, but I don't think they will.
I don't want Vader in a trailer. I don't want to see it at all. I want to have my moment while I'm watching the show.
Yeah, we want to have that Rogue One moment because, like, going back to like that real quick, by the time that Rogue One came out, we'd already had Episode 7, right?
Yep.
So Rogue One came out in between Episode 7 and Episode 8. So the process of having that new age of Star Wars fans had already begun. I went and seen Rogue One opening night, and there was a lot of kids in there. There was a lot of kids, who would have been these new age fans. And I just remember the reaction when Vader came on for the first time in the castle with Krennic in the theater was insane, And then the end scene where he just goes nuts. Like,
is that the best Vader we'll ever have?
Yeah,
no, can they top that?
Yes, I think they can. I think that we may all come back after this and say, "Yeah, I can't believe I thought that was." But that's other than Scene 38 reimagined. That's the best Vader. Which Scene 38 reimagined doesn't exist really in the canon, but that's the best Vader. That's the Vader. That's the angry Vader. I mean, he was punching him. He was punching Kenobi in the fight, which was just. But yeah, that Vader is hard to top because it's the first time you saw him just ruthlessly murdering people.
Christensen has said that it's going to be even more than that.
Yeah, he said that you see an evil Vader like at his prime.
So like
that'd be pretty awesome.
If you're thinking about, okay, he's saying we're going to see an evil Vader at his prime, and you take into account what we've seen in Rogue One, surely it's like, well, wait a minute here. How can you top that?
Yeah, because technically that would mean Rogue One was past his prime.
My bad.
Well, he was ruthless in Rogue One. He was
right.
I know.
Ruthless.
But if we're saying in this show it's him in his prime,
that means... I don't know. How long are you in your prime for? I mean, 10 years. I think you could be in your prime for 10 years.
Yeah.
So he could still be in his prime in Rogue One.
I've been in my prime for 30.
Oh, wait, no. I mean,
no, but wait.
Vader is technically in his 30s.
Yeah, because then Rogue One goes right into A New Hope, and by New Hope, he's kind of, getting to be old Genki Vader by then. So, I don't know.
Well, then again, what happens to his body probably did age him faster.
If you think about athletes are probably in their prime early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
So like going with that rule, it sounds like a pretty kind of dinky kind of rule, but going by that, yeah, that would line up. So he's going to be even more ruthless than Tim. I can't stop looking at that Vader art behind you. It's cool as hell, man.
I thought about going and grabbing mine and putting it up.
Yeah, do it, man. I mean, that was this was ridiculously cheap, man. You'd be mad if you knew what I paid for that. I think it was like $19, and it's like a canvas, like full on frame canvas. Hobby Lobby's awesome.
Like going off of off of that, you kind of think to yourself, right, okay, just exactly how insane is this Vader going to be?
Well,
and what
okay.
we're going to see him doing? Are we going to see him training the Inquisitors, being heavily hard on them? You know, are we going to see him cutting people down? We don't know what context we're going to see Vader. We don't know what context we're going to have him in terms of what kind of role or part he's going to play. Obviously, this isn't the Vader show; it's the Kenobi show. But he's going to be a massive part of the story.
Agreed.
So, a thought. Can Vader in his prime top Anakin at his peak?
Absolutely.
So that would mean
Yeah, I would think so, because
the
Vader
next battle
is,
should technically be a better battle than the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Vader is Anakin that has also fully embraced the dark side. Although the Anakin that fought Obi-Wan was Vader. That wasn't Anakin. He was already Vader.
Oh, no, I get all that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in live action, I think that's kind of everyone's, unless Phantom Menace, but I think everyone's like, that battle of Anakin and Obi-Wan was it. Like that was the battle. Yeah. So if Vader's now in his prime, that means he would be able to fight better than that.
Yeah, you would think so. But this, like in canon, the suit just completely hampers his movement and his, so he can't do any of the cool acrobatic crap that he used to do. But they can make up for it with his use of the Force, with him throwing and retrieving lightsabers.
I want to see lightning.
Power. The power.
I want anything like that. What's it called? Scene 39 or whatever it's called?
You don't like Scene 38? I love Scene
38. No, I love it. I want that. Like,
yes,
figure out how to put that in this.
Fury and that anger, which to me, what I would love to see is for Obi-Wan to pull out Anakin's lightsaber against Darth Vader. I mean, how much would that piss him off? Just that imagine he's fighting with the Obi-Wan blade, and then all of a sudden goes dual blades. It's like, well, there you go, bitch. I mean, that would just be, I don't know. The possibilities are amazing.
What I'd really like to find out, pardon me, is why does Anakin's saber change in appearance? What happened to that saber between 3 and 4?
Do they show that? Do they show the fact that he's got, because he's got that saber, he's got Qui-Gon's saber. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see them doing something where he takes some extra parts, puts them in a box with Qui-Gon's gem, and kind of leaves it in his hut there. And that's what Luke finds later on to build his lightsaber. I would love for them to give an explanation for
that would explain that's why.
Luke, I know, and I don't even know in canon how they explain Luke found a green kyber crystal. Was it just in? I know they've got that scene of him tinkering with the lightsaber that got cut in the cave, but
yeah.
And that begs the question: is that the cave that Obi-Wan's sleeping in? I don't know.
All I remember though, growing up, is when I remember going and seeing him from blue to green. As a child, that was like you going from knight to master. So I thought, when I saw him.
Does everybody here know the reason why Luke had a green lightsaber? The real reason?
So they couldn't have him.
So they could have him outside against a blue sky. So when they were out there on Jabba's sail barge, they couldn't key out, they couldn't do the blue lightsaber over the blue. So they gave him a green lightsaber. That's the only reason he had a green lightsaber. Sorry.
But it worked out pretty well.
It's better than the only reason why we have a purple
lighting wise
lightsaber.
Back in the 80s.
That's just because Sam Jackson said I want a purple lightsaber.
I believe that.
There's a great scene. There's a scene of Sam Jackson in costume talking to Lucas.
Yeah.
Where, he's like, what color lightsaber I have? And Lucas is like, well, the bad guys have red and the good guys either have blue or green. And Sam's like, what if I want purple?
No
purple. But you see, that's a power move on.
And then
Lucas he's like, there's no purple. There's no purple. And then Lucas kind of like, well, I don't know, maybe there could be a purple. Look it up. It's on YouTube. It's awesome.
No, it's my favorite thing ever from Samuel L. Jackson. He's just like, I want me a
I like it. I like the scene on Graham Norton when he hands him a replica of Mace Windu's. He's like, I have one at home. And he's like, oh, how do you know this isn't it? And he says, because this one doesn't say badass motherfucker on it.
Yeah. I think, was that the one he was on with Sandra Bullock? He's like, oh, my kid would love this.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, mine's got bad motherfucker on the right here. Like, just so good, man. Like, what? But that's the thing. When you give someone like George Lucas such a throwaway idea, such as a new lightsaber color,
he will
run with that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's what people forget sometimes as directors is sometimes, especially like, for example, right now, the film I'm working on, I'm working with the actors. I'm working with an insane amount of talent in a room. And sometimes you read a script and everyone thinks when you watch a movie that when you read a script, this is what is actually like, this is what they have to say. No. The characters themselves come up with these nuances and layers to their character to make it more real. And if they present saying, hey, I prefer this for my character, and the director sees that and like, why didn't I think about that? Like, yes, their directors are creative, but they feed on what their talent is giving them. So when Samuel L. Jackson, I keep saying Mace because I want to say Mace Windu. When Samuel L. Jackson does that with George is like, I didn't think of other colors. Like, it's not something I thought came into his head. But the fact that Samuel L. Jackson was just like, hey, I want to be different. Let's consider giving me a purple lightsaber. He goes, well, you are different than the other Jedi Masters, Why the fuck not? And they do
it. Do it. So was Boba Fett shot in the same 360 shit that they used on Mandalorian? Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But did they have sets as well, or was it all?
So everything was based out of California. Boba Fett, Mandalorian's all out of California.
So this is the first new Star Wars live action show that's not shot on those sets, because this was all done in Great Britain somewhere, wasn't it?
No, there was scenes done in LA. I know that because they were still using they were
because it seems like that Star Wars Hong Kong, that seems like really lined up to be that kind of 360 theater shit.
Oh yeah.
I do know Lucasfilm just bought a studio here in Atlanta. I personally think it's for The Mandalorian season 3. Because I've been hearing talks on sets of like Mando season 3 is coming here.
They've built one of those 360 screens at Pinewood as well. There's one at Pinewood. Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a chance this one has a couple more built sets. Just because Sam, what was the number? 33 million an episode or something? Or
30 million an episode from what
30 million an episode, yeah.
What's it like to have a budget like that? I mean, I'm saying this now, but like the movie I'm working on has an insane budget.
Disney.
So
it's like Disney.
They shot a lot of Andor here.
6 episodes, right?
6 episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
$180 million.
Yeah.
180 million. That's that. I mean, a movie could have a budget like that.
That's Avengers, I mean, that's even less than an Avengers. So that's really not that bad, all things considered. We're doing 6 hours of, and somebody was I don't know if this was y'all's live stream, but yeah, the fact that we get this is 6 hours,
Hopefully 6 hours.
If it's 6 hours.
Yeah, we just keep saying it and it happens. You just put that out there. Positivity, man. So we are going to get 6 hours more. Actually, fuck that. We're going to get more than 6 hours of Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's more than all the prequels combined. And probably more time than all of Obi-Wan and all of the cinematic, Star Wars. So we should be really happy that this whole television arrangement kind of happened, because to me, it's some of the best Star Wars that we have.
It's such a full circle moment, because I remember when I was watching The Phantom Menace, after I had watched it in theaters, and I had the VHS, but after the VHS, George Lucas came out with the DVD that had the behind the scenes disc to it, and I remember seeing Ewan McGregor, young, fresh, short hair, no beard. He put on his little Padawan little thing, and he was just, I think he was just running around the props department, and he was just choosing which saber would fit him better, like which one holds him better. Now we're here, like 2022. You know, this like
fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's just such a full circle moment. I don't know. Like I think that's what Elvis was also trying to trying to say when he felt that nostalgia with when Duel of Fates came on. It's just everyone is kind of transported back to basically Phantom Menace when we first see E1, and we're like, wow, we've all grown. I feel like at this point we've all grown up together. Like we've grown up with Ewan McGregor.
Here's
this character, and now it's like.
Don't forget.
Did you guys see that TikTok I reposted the other day? It was a support group for people who hear Star Wars music everywhere.
No, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, and so they're like, "So Stan, how you doing? You know, a lot better since last week. That was really a good session. I think it really helped." And the guy says, "It did, didn't it?" And then he goes, "It did, didn't it? It did, didn't it? It did, didn't it? It did, didn't it? It did, didn't it?" The other people in the support group just start vibing.
I was talking about this with Sam yesterday, but like he was saying, "Oh, do you ever just like drive and you're like blasting this music?" And I'm just like, I was telling him there's an artist on YouTube called Samuel Kim Music, and he does the rendition, like the remixes of John Williams songs, and I will be blasting that down the highway. Oh, if it's like, for example, there's the Imperial March, and it's a crossover he did with the Imperial March and Carol of the Bells.
Carol of the Bells.
I will blast that, and I'm just like, if someone's next to me and they just see me just going like this, and they're thinking, wow, she's going to a hardcore song, I'm like, yes, it's Star Wars music. Fuck.
I was blasting the Sam Kim Carol of the Bells Imperial March. And that was when I decided to make the video of the box that I made for my son's Vader. And Sam, I know you've seen it. But I was like, listening to that song, I'm like, I'm going to make a whole video just because of this song right now.
Quickly going back to the budget. 30 million in episodes, 6 episodes, 180 million. Natty and I were talking last night quickly about the Halo series that's coming at the end of the month. They've got 9 episodes and they'd had a budget of 300 million. So 3 more episodes and nearly double.
Just the amount of armor and computer generating shit they're going to have to do for that Halo is, you know, like if you were to do a live action Clone Wars, that it would be upwards of that just from the computer work you'd have to do or the amount of armor that you'd have to build.
This is where the new screen technology comes in. The amount of money that saves the studios.
Oh yeah, and
you know
just how well it works. It makes it for the actors to actually act because it's not, you know, okay, there's like a blue sky and then, you know, these ships coming down and you're actually seeing it. You know, when you're so it just makes it so much easier for them.
Well, you ever watched the making of episode 3 and it's literally just blue screen and green screen everywhere.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that got me really excited when Ewan started talking about coming to set and he was like, I'd never seen a stormtrooper before.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what about, of course you saw the clone troopers, and it was like, no, they didn't exist.
Yeah, no.
Like there was nothing there. The only person I talked to is a live person if they happen to be standing there.
The first clone armor was built by a fan. I mean, it was all computer generated. So it's that, and I thought for sure, you know, I mean, there was like 1 or 2 scenes where Rex or Cody was a real dude there, you know, that Tamira Morrison had to do some. He was all mocapped and they just voiced him, and that was them pretending to talk with clones, you know, and that kind of disappoints me, you know. I think he got a little too much into the digital and too far away from what made Star Wars.
Well, George got too trigger happy with redoing all of his movies multiple times. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen. And this is when iTunes movies were really thinking we didn't have these streaming services and stuff like that. But I remember seeing an ad on iTunes for the latest, all 6 episodes of Star Wars remastered to the current. And I went ahead and bought it. I paid $60. I think I paid like $30 or $60. It was. I remember it was expensive when I bought it. I was just like, for me, when I was in high school, I was just like, maybe I shouldn't be spending this. Probably my mom's gonna be pissed at me. But
Sam, do you know? I forget the number, but I think A New Hope has been released 19 different times or something like that. I remember the number's really big.
Oh, that's a VHS. I'm gonna have
I've
the
got them.
VHS are in my grandfather's.
These are still the VHSs.
I got.
I don't have a
them-
VHS player, but
I got them from a Goodwill store for £2 about 10 years ago.
yeah, oh yeah.
My grandfather left those in his will for me, so I can't. He's basically said I can't give it to you until after I pass. I'm like, well, thanks, Grandpa. I mean, granted, I wouldn't have a VHS player to watch it.
I had those tapes, but I feel like they were gold. Maybe it was special edition or something.
I have
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine-
this is
mine
the
are gold.
special edition. I don't know if it's gold or silver. I can't tell with the way the lighting is here.
There must have
It's
been a
right.
difference between the gold and the silver.
Yeah, this is the widescreen version. I had.
There you go.
I don't know if you remember
There you
that
go.
back in the day when they used to format it for the TV, or
This is
Yeah,
what
full
I have.
size. I bet was the gold one then.
Yes.
Yeah, no, mine are gold too. Yeah.
These are the DVDs and the bonus features.
But I can't watch. Not that I would watch VHS. I can't even watch Return. So I admitted the other day, and I don't know why I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I finally admitted. For the longest time, I always said A New Hope was my favorite Star Wars movie, but it's not. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, and for some odd reason, I'm embarrassed about that. But I
I don't
can't
remember you
watch-
ever saying A New Hope before, but I could totally see Return
Yeah,
being
it
your
was
favorite.
just I wanted to kind of no, it's New Hope.
You know what? Yeah, I'm
Or
going to
it'd
make
be
you even
cool
more
if they
embarrassed. I
empire-
remember you saying A New Hope, or no, Star Wars, because back in my day, it wasn't A New Hope. It was just called Star
was
Wars.
just
You
Star
said something
Wars,
like that. I
right?
remember that.
Yeah, they didn't add that to the anyway. So I can't watch it on Disney Plus because I can watch it, but I have to stop it before the end because I hate the John Williams song. I want to hear the fucking Nub Nub Ewok song. To me, that's how the show ends, with that. And so I hate that that's the only change I really can't stand, The rest of them I can stomach. That's the only one I can stand.
I was watching the Family Guy ones a couple nights ago and
Mhm.
see some of the gags. And
Almost better than the real movies,
like,
the whole thing about where they go into, look, Vader can't really strangle us, but he doesn't know that, so we're gonna all go through Vader strangling class here, because otherwise he's gonna start stabbing us with lightsabers. So here, this guy's gonna play, John's gonna play the new guy, and I'm Vader, so I strangle him. See, he chokes, he falls to the floor, and then these two guys will come in, grab him, slide him out. You put on a fake mustache, and you come back, and now you're Ensign so-and-so. It's like, see Johnson over there, he's been strangled 17 times, and this guy's got like glasses and a mustache and a beard and like a clown hat. And the Family Guy Blue Harvest is some of the best stuff out there. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it.
It's the end of I can't remember what they renamed the episodes, but they've done the one for Jedi. And it's like, oh yeah, save a yup nub for me. And he goes, in fact, you can shave your nub for me too. It's like,
They had a saber font that was the
good.
Family Guy Blue Harvest at one point. It was awesome.
so good.
I don't know if it may have been for Ultra Sabers though. It may have been an Ultra Sabers one from a diamond controller back in the day.
Could have been.
All right, so let's get back on Kenobi again. Let's keep the speculation going. But so we've got, as far as the Inquisitors, in the trailer, we've seen the Grand Inquisitor, the fifth brother, Reza Sash, third sister, and then whatever is it, the seventh sister with the crazy ass, we don't know, confirmed, crazy ass kind of RoboCop lid on her head.
No. So it's confirmed she's the same species as the girl from Clone Wars, the one the episode when they went to get their kyber crystals, the kids, the younglings.
Yep.
Oh shit! That means She's, but there's a Jedi Master with the same species as that.
I think there's a Jedi
There's-
Master of the same
there's a-
species,
it's
but
not
it almost
Barriss.
looks like leaf tentacles coming off her head.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
They're not saying anything about it being that young lady or
But
anything.
that's why she's got that thing on there to kind of cover that up.
Yeah.
So we've got them. I mean, I'm wondering if we'll get more. But to me, it seems like Star Wars is really trying to create this, Marvel-esque cinematic universe. And they're going to go pull from games, pull from, wherever it is. So do you think we get more Fallen Order in this, with the, Rebels has crept its way into everything Star Wars now television.
I think we could get a Cal Kestis.
I would love to see a Cal Kestis. I mean,
I've been
the
hearing
dude that
about
plays
everyone
him-
wanting Cal Kestis.
I'll tell you why I think this, right? It's 5 years after Fallen Order. And in the middle, we've got Kenobi.
Yep.
And we're getting Fallen Order 2
Yep.
this year. That's expected to be at Celebration before E3. And it's expected to be released circa October, November time. If they didn't utilize Cal Kestis in this, I
It's a
would
missed. I
be
mean,
disappointed because Vader knows about Cal Kestis at this point. He knows he's out and around there,
and they're actively hunting Jedi. He's
and
not just going to let him.
we get a kid in a poncho in the trailer. Cal
That could
Kestis
be.
is famous for wearing a friggin' poncho.
And
Wow, dude, I didn't
And-
catch that. You're right. It's the poncho, the guy with
But-
the Jedi council, the order tattoo
I'll
on his
take it
hand.
one step further. That planet, which very well could be Tatooine,
Yeah.
did we not see recently a BD droid that maybe showed up on Tatooine?
We did.
Right? Yeah, I like
How
that. I
did this
like that.
BD droid get to Tatooine?
But
Perhaps
right, but that would be like 30 years from that point.
droids
I'm
don't
just
age,
saying.
man. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Droids don't age. C-3PO, look at him, from throughout there. I mean, he got skin. R2 looks the same in one movie from the beginning to the end. So
Because we don't know what's going to happen in Fallen Order 2 yet. So we could find them on Tatooine. He could forge some relationships on Tatooine, go off, do number 2, somehow end up back on Tatooine during number 2, leave BD behind or something goes on there.
you could even have part 2 take place before this, and he dies in this.
You could.
And then you go back and find out what happens leading up to it, because there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential.
There's so much potential. And I think we were saying this as well. That BD unit got so much screen time during that episode for an
It wasn't
insignificant droid.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
random.
not random at all. No, it's not. They
It's-
know what they're doing.
Yeah,
If
they do.
if Marvel's shown us, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and as much as I feel like Ahsoka, the show Ahsoka, is going to end up being Rebels, the continuation of Rebels. That
Well,
show.
yeah,
is
she mentions that she's trying to find.
Where is Ezra? Where is Thrawn? Because
Before you leave Fallen Order, I wanted to check quick. Have you guys seen this meme? It's like the Back to the Future meme.
let me put you full
Well,
screen.
yeah, it's probably not going to focus, but it says Fallen Order players. Hey, I've seen this one. Every other Star Wars fan. What do you mean? This is brand new. I was like, that's a pretty good meme.
Well, this is the thing as well, because there is a lot of Fallen Order tie-ins.
Oh, yeah.
lot.
So it wouldn't be inconceivable that we see Cal Kestis in this. And I'm not going to
not
lie.
be disappointed.
If
I
we
would not be
see Cal
disappointed.
Kestis in this, I am going to apologize for the expletive. Shit a fucking kitten with excitement.
Well, if you
I'm gonna have to
really
write that one
wanted to, if you really wanted to put some emotion into what the Inquisitors are doing, you give us a Jedi that we know and
Yeah.
have them do something bad to him.
Is that potentially who he might leave on, if it is Tatooine, who he leaves on Tatooine to watch Luke for a little bit and then disappear?
Now that I didn't even think about that, but that would be awesome. That would be awesome. just the potential with that, having the dude that does the voice, they, screen capped him for the character. He hasn't aged at all. He looks just like him.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't do it. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. So, talking Inquisitors, there's been a lot of folks that are disappointed with the Grand Inquisitor and his look. And, would I like him to have a skinnier face? Probably, but I don't know that we've seen it in all of its perspective either, because we've only kind of seen it straight on. I don't know that we've seen him moving it around. So,
I think we can agree, though, that it looks more human than it does on animated.
I don't think they've used motion capture on their faces, because that's what they do. What you're trying to think of is what Marvel does. For example, that's what we saw with
Thanos.
With Thanos, we saw that with basically anything from the movie Avatar.
Snoke as well, actually, with Andy Serkis.
Snoke, yeah. I don't think they used it. I think this is primarily prosthetics, edit, like heavy, like visual effects.
Somebody went through in After Effects and basically fixed it to make it look more like the cartoon.
Which is easy with it still. Yeah. How realistic does that look in video?
Oh, no, this dude did it in full video. He takes granted, you're talking 2.5 seconds, because that's about all you have of him in the trailer, but he does it in full video, and it looks convincing in that. I watch it on, my phone.
This is going back to what Elvis was saying, though. It's artistic style and animated style. Granted, some of the edits I've seen a couple of still image edits where, okay, he might look a little bit better.
Now, I'm disappointed, yes, but am I going to complain about it? Fuck no,
No.
And is it going to make me? So I'll get that out of the way. Yeah, am I?
Funny, but I feel like the opposite. I'm not disappointed. I'm happy to accept what I'm getting. I'm gonna say it doesn't look. But like
also, voice, I think it's crap.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many nitpicky things I don't like about it. I'm already in love with it.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound so silly, but I remember going for a walk with my wife, and she was pregnant with our first. And I told her, this is going to sound weird, but I already love my child. And she's like, I know what you mean. And I'm going to compare it to Kenobi right now. I already know I'm going to love this. It doesn't matter how many how many bad decisions they can make in the show. I know I'm going to love it. I'm still going to nitpick.
Can I just say, how awesome does Sung Kang look as the fifth brother? Yeah. He looks insane.
Speaking of him, I'm me and IMDb at this point they're my best friend. I told this to Sam. If you ever want to know what anything Lucasfilm is doing, I mean, aside from your typical like place to get leaks, IMDb is like basically like that's where you're gonna see most of the updates. Like, for example, that's how we know that George Lucas is still working on all these things.
Yeah,
it's all these unannounced projects loaded up on his IMDb page. But I was just looking at Sung Kang's IMDb page, and the picture that is posted is that frame of the Grand Inquisitor when you see his face for the first time, and everyone's it's him, the fifth brother, and the Grand Inquisitor facing each other. So I'm now like looking at the picture. I'm like wondering like if this is them fighting against each other, like training wise. Because everyone thought they're like, oh my god, that must be like code. Like I don't know how I can share this with you guys, but I'll like link it in the private chat here. Oh my god, I'm like, I don't know, I'm getting nerdy about it. I see it, and it says here in the photo that it's Sung Kang and Rupert Friend. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
Which means they're like, this is like now knowledge that these are these two actors, which means if they're the fifth brother and the Grand Inquisitor, this must be a scene from when they're training together.
Yeah.
Doesn't this look like it's perhaps on that planet though, with the market with the neon sign, or is that just a little bit of?
I don't know.
If you go to the frame before that though, and you see him walking through that town with the stormtroopers, he looks so good.
I don't know.
They say that this is Sun Kang and that's Rupert, and I'm just like, and you see the saber. Obviously, that's going to be the Grand Inquisitor's saber. So I wonder. I don't know.
The one thing that I really think they got wrong are the eyes on both.
Yeah.
I forget what color the Grand Inquisitor's eyes, but they're lighter colored. Probably
yeah,
yellow.
aren't they like yellow?
They're like yellow. They're like full on Sith yellow.
And the fifth
Yeah, they're
brother, no, fifth brother. I get that right?
Fifth brother, yeah.
And the fifth brother, if I remember right, in Rebels, he had like white eyes, like light colored eyes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta go look it up a picture now.
It was almost like kind of Raiden from Mortal Kombat kind of eyes, like those.
Right? Yeah.
I think more than the shape
like
of
Raiden.
his face, I think to me, I just miss that voice of him from Rebels. It just there's just such a familiarity with the Grand Inquisitor's voice, and that's kind of what I miss. And then kind of finding out later on the whole Jedi Temple Guard connection and that piece of it was just really cool. So. I don't know, but I'm happy to see Inquisitors live action, and I'm really.
Why do you think they didn't go with the voice actor? Because I mean, he was
I don't
amazing
know.
in like the Harry Potter films and stuff like that. Were they worried about the age or something? I don't
know.
Potentially.
That's all a casting thing.
It couldn't have been money. Right?
I mean, it's the same. It's probably the same. Like, it's not even that money, because technically, if you want to say. We should have had Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka versus Rosario Dawson.
Well, I could understand that one, even though
that one I understand.
Sam Witwer does pretty much all Darth Maul now, other than the very first Phantom Menace. He's done every single audio,
except for Ray Park in Solo.
Oh, Ray Park did the Solo part.
Well,
that was Ray Park,
but it wasn't Ray's voice. It was
Sam Witwer's voice. Yeah, he's voiced him, and so I could see them.
Poor Ray Park, you just never get to hear his voice in anything.
The thing with Ray Park, though, that's interesting about this is, if you remember 6 months ago, Ray Park quickly posted, then quickly fucking deleted an image of him where he was in a makeup chair getting mauled.
So wouldn't you love to see, because I don't think you'd see him and Kenobi on Tatooine. But man, wouldn't it be fucking awesome if we ran into him as part of the Crimson Dawn and all that?
Oh, dude! If
he had to go and cooperate with Crimson Dawn in order to find a kidnapped Princess Leia, and he comes in contact with Maul, it just
Vader and Maul meet.
Does it match up with what we know from Rebels? I don't know, because it kind of seems like that was their only next time meeting, but I don't know.
That's another thing as well, though, is another line in Rebels. He's kind of him and Ezra are, they're in the Sith temple, and all of a sudden, bang, and he's kind of crawling away, going, "He lives, Kenobi lives."
And even when they do encounter each other, they play that, and there might even be lines talking about
what's
how
become
it's
of
so
you.
long.
Yeah.
But it could have been that that was 10 years since they've seen each other.
Potentially.
He didn't say anything like, "Aha, I'm still alive." He just said, "Look at what's become of you." It's not like a haha. Because think about that. When they met, there was no kind of reference from Maul saying, "Ha, you thought you killed me, but you didn't. I'm back." Yeah. He's just like, "Look what's become of you now." So that might actually lend itself to the fact that they maybe meet each other again.
Could you imagine in this series if we got, think about what we've spoken about over the last hour, right? Could you imagine we're not only getting the Inquisitors, right? We're not just getting Kenobi.
I was just having the same thought. I know where you're going with this.
And Vader, right? Can you imagine if we get all of that, plus we get Cal Kestis, plus we're getting Maul? Could you imagine? Well, we know for a fact that Liam Neeson has done voice stuff.
Yeah.
We know
Yoda's alive. There's so many major players. That could be brought in.
Everybody is alive.
Everyone's alive.
Simon's
Really,
dream will
I'm
come
not
true,
gonna lie.
and Mace Windu
Mace
will
Windu.
return.
I'm
Mace
not gonna
Windu.
lie, that pizza looks so good. I kind of want pizza now.
I brought up Mace Windu a year ago, and people are like, in Kenobi? No, I could see it in Boba Fett. And we all went, oh, yeah, we could see that in Boba Fett. Because
it makes more sense in Boba Fett.
It makes more sense. But from the get-go, I was like, it could be Obi-Wan running into Mace Windu. Like, come on. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, the whole
We all
Mace
just want to see
thing-
Mace. We're all just like, Mace!
The whole Mace thing would be okay. It would be good. But at the same time, it wouldn't be. It's like, because you just can't leave anyone dead. You know? Even though Tamura Morrison has already said that he's already pitched the idea for season 2 to have Mace come in.
You know what? That could totally save that show. So, yes, let's see it there. I'm okay with it there.
You know?
Because it doesn't make sense in Obi-Wan.
Because he was doing start again. He'd done this interview on New Zealand radio not long ago where they were asking him about doing stuff for something. He said, well, they better hurry up because I'm booked out through September onwards.
Yeah, they were talking about having it in Ahsoka, I think.
So they've already confirmed we're getting a season 2 of Book of Boba. You know? Whether he was supposed to confirm that or not, and inadvertently, we don't know. But it's pretty much confirmed we are going to get it.
I'm just happy because that means more Star Wars for me. I can give the big FU to everyone. It's like, you're a nerd for liking Star Wars. I'm like, well, guess what? All your favorite shows ended and got canceled.
Exactly.
So John just commented Palpatine appearance, and Ian McDermott, is that his name?
Yeah.
Ian McDermott, yeah.
He was just quoted recently in some Associated Press, I forget which, but he was just quoted recently saying, well, I'm alive at that point, and I know Obi-Wan, and I know Anakin, so I guess it would make sense. And that was all he said, and I'm like, oh, come on. That's
all he needs to say,
that's
though,
naughty.
right?
Dude, all I need is his laugh, and then we know.
And could you imagine if we didn't get a little bit of the Emperor? Not a lot, just a little bit. You know,
I think we're
just
gonna
like-
have to hear his voice because they're still very like Vader and him are very like he always
I think
checks in with him
I feel
every
like
single
we
day.
really need to.
even a hologram, even just these hologram calls, from wherever he is, because the Death Star is still under construction at this point. It's it's probably, I'd say, half built.
Yeah, right now all those engineers are working on those bathrooms and the plumbing. Takes a while, man.
Yeah,
I bet we get a
imagine
couple
the
cool
plumbing.
cameos. I really think so.
So, do you think having brought in Black Kirsten into the Boba Fett, knowing that in the comics he had a face-off with Obi-Wan on Tatooine, do you think that they did that just to bring him kind of as a?
That could be. No, I hope so, because that
basically that I
would
think
then tile that
Jabba was pulling a racket on the moisture farmers, and he brought in Black Kirsten to mess with them, and Obi-Wan stuck up for Owen Lars. So it would make sense,
right?
And they introduced him, and they're creating this ultra, universe. I don't know. It could happen.
It could totally happen. I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because then to me, it means Disney put too much stock in this character and they're just going to try to ride it. And we're not going to get more plot, more story, more character growth in Obi-Wan.
But it could be a total throwaway, though.
We get Jack
I don't want throwaway. I don't want filler.
I mean, don't forget that this is a completely different director than Mandalorian, and this is literally not Dave Filoni, it's not John. I'm excited though because she did do some episodes in Mandalorian.
Season 1,
and yeah. So I am excited, but this is it's all director's choice. She could go different with the show. But at the same time, I personally think for her career move, she's going to pull a Rise of Skywalker J.J. Abrams. And the only reason, and what I'm saying in this is she is going to continue being original, but know what the fans want.
Yeah.
Like, she's not stupid. I think a lot of times with directors, and I've seen it before, is that they go so original that they lose themselves in that process.
Okay.
They try to be so original. They get lost in storylines and they just remain on this one path. But knowing that we've already had Mandalorian season 1 and 2, Book of Boba, so 2 live action TV shows that have done very well under the direction of John and Dave. And so I'm hoping that she has learned from this journey where
it's
she
also
going
to be impossible. Well, I shouldn't say it's impossible, but it's also going to be a little hard. Think about the amount of executive producers on this show.
Yeah.
Not just your average executive producers. Like, think of Ewan fucking McGregor. Like,
yeah, he's an exec producer.
When he says, I don't think Obi-Wan would say that. Why not? Because I'm fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Are you sure he's a...
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Are you sure he's listed as an executive producer? Because he's not listed here.
He was definitely an executive producer.
I thought he was listed. I don't know.
I remember him interviewing with someone about a year ago, and he said that he's an executive producer.
It's Deborah Chow, Joby Harold, Michelle Rejwan, Kathleen Kennedy, and Jason McGatlin, who are the executive producers of this.
Because I remember...
What, you didn't even say Filoni or Favreau, so I mean...
I remember thinking to myself...
Can it be Star Wars without Filoni and Favreau?
I mean, here's the thing. I think the one thing that people need to also understand about production is that being an executive producer can mean many things. Literally, you could just show up and be an executive producer. Kathleen Kennedy obviously is an executive producer because of the fact that she is the right now leading lady of
I'm not suggesting there's a bunch of people not actually being involved in producing the show. I'm saying that there's going to be so many people involved in trying to produce the show that there's going to be a lot of opinions, which, I mean, is a director going to stand up to that many opinions when they're all might be against hers? So it's a challenge. I'm not saying...
Well, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, in production, like, just because they're listed as executive producers, there's always going to be 2 or 3 executive producers that are always going to be talking with the director. Kathleen Kennedy could not be talking, probably won't be talking with her at all. It probably could be Deborah Chow or this Joby Harold.
I hope Kathleen Kennedy's not talking to anybody.
No, it could be any of these 4 producers. That's
Deborah
not.
Chow went to Canada to Hayden's farm to basically talk him into this. It was the coolest thing.
So she's probably the EP on set, consulting with them.
Do you think it took flying up there to do that, to get him to say yes?
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing as like what I'm saying. Like, for him to come back to do this role, and this show was announced 3 years ago. Like, was it like 2018, 2017?
2019 it was announced, I think.
2019. So yeah.
But he'd been keeping this secret since 2015. He'd been carrying the secret around for like 4 years at that point.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you really?
Yeah.
And two, it's not like people don't ask you about Star Wars every single day when you're Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They made a massive deal about it because he was like, I've been lying to people for 4 years. And at that point, it was 2019. So 2015, he knew back in 2015, he'd already signed on the dotted line to do this.
I wonder once they saw how well Force Awakens did, they're like, okay, let's now start asking these people what their opinion is on coming back.
Here's a quick question, right? The tweet from a year ago, nearly a year ago, March 29, 21, when we got the full kind of main cast of this. So Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Moses Ingram, Joel Edgerton, Bonnie Picey, is that? I can't remember. I can't even see it. We know who they're playing.
Yeah.
Rupert Friend, we know who he's playing.
Yeah,
Elvira.
who's what's his name's son? O'Shea Jackson. Who's he playing?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. Kamal Nanjiani, who's he playing? O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's he playing? Simone Kessel, who's she playing? The one I'm quite intrigued by here is it Benny Safdie or Safdie? I don't know how to
Is that the
pronounce
one that would be Leia's age?
What's this? This is a guy, and his hairdo looks like Mr. Poncho Boy. He's the same type of hair.
A year ago?
This was it was on Twitter, Rotten Tomatoes Twitter. So this is the main cast. This is the main 12. So we know who most of them are playing, what their characters are.
I mean, we know Kumail's in freaking all 6 episodes because that's what he's listed, that he's in all 6 episodes.
Yeah, so who's he?
And was he the one that was in Eternals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was in Eternals, yeah. Yeah,
And
most
was
of the
that
cast are
before
all in
this?
for 6
So is
episodes.
he was like, oh yeah, that was before this. He was still jacked. I don't know.
Out of the confirmed cast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of them are in every single episode.
Oh, I'm burning up, man. Can someone lend me their AC unit?
I got AC coming through tonight. Like it's like we had 80 degrees today, and tomorrow it's going to be 30 degrees. So yeah.
Ish.
Welcome to Alabama. And it's probably the same for you. I think Elvis and I live in the same temperature zone.
Does it ever
Basically,
snow there? Does it get into like 20s and stuff?
we'll get snow once every 5 years. It'll snow like a half inch and then melt the next day.
Where in Alabama are you?
I'm in Daphne, Alabama. Like Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, it's half hour from
you.
Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Atlanta, we've been rainy and cold all week, which
You get
is
seasons.
not good.
My brother lives in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh yeah, no, I've
sweaty
loved it
all
since
week.
moving from Florida. I've enjoyed actually having
Yeah.
seasons for once. Fits the mood when it's cold and rainy, and all I do is like I cuddle to my blanket, and I just
You should do what you should do once is a podcast on the joys of driving in Atlanta during rush hour.
I was literally just talking to David Mann and Tamala Mann, who play Cora and Mr. Brown. I was like, because I complimented them on the most recent Medea movie. I'm like, oh my god, this movie was so great. I'm sorry for like going off topic on not on Star Wars. And I'm like, it was so great. I was watching in the car, and Tamla, I felt like went into complete mom mode the second I said that. She goes, "You did what? You were doing it in what?" I'm like, there was an accident on like the 285, so I got stuck there for like 40 minutes and just put it on my phone. And they're like, "Oh, that makes sense. I thought you were actively driving while watching this." I'm like, no.
The traffic in Atlanta is awful.
It's
the worst traffic I've ever been.
Yo, that's
Oh, there you go. I like that. That's a good one there. No,
that's Vader color. Oh, not
Nice.
Keep it on that,
red.
man.
Jesus, man.
That's sweet.
Jesus, guys.
I need to get what Elvis has got because this Phillips Hue shit is shit. It
No,
doesn't
I
do
don't
it
like this.
nothing.
Oh, red is not my color. We're going back to purple. Fuck that.
That's Benny Safdie guy, whoever he is. He's in all 6 episodes of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's just annoying. Why can't it be me already?
Not that long. And it's going to only get worse when we start to really get plot points and other shit.
I mean,
Then
look
it
at
becomes how much do you want to know? How much do you want to avoid?
All I ask from people is not to be assholes. Like, for example, when the show starts coming out, like we'll do obviously our reviews, but I've so many times, and thankfully it's not been on Star Wars, but so many times, especially with like TikTok being a thing and being like the massive spoiler thing, that and Twitter, but mainly it's been on TikTok because I've been watching it so much. I've seen so many spoilers, and there's no warning with TikTok. If you scroll up and you see it, you're like, oh shit, like did it? Like you have to
Right.
you have to swipe up very fast to make sure you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Stony Magnum's story post?
Yeah.
He was like,
so bad.
so I just got off work, and I'd like to thank all you mother effers that posted spoilers in your goddamn Instagram stories. Thank you for that.
That's why I wrote in the group chat, and I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but go watch the trailer.
And you could tell because I was right there with you, and I'm like, let me know. I'll wait. I'm ready to talk. Like,
literally, I was just like, go watch it. Like, we will have a conversation afterwards. But I hate it when people do that. And even I remember when Force Awakens was coming out, I remember, I think I put it as my Facebook banner. Oh my god, I'm gonna find it. It was like, I think it was like, please don't spoil Star Wars for me, or please don't be that person to spoil Star Wars, or put any spoilers. But oh my god, where is it? Cover photos. Oh, it says it's right here. Oh my god. Star Wars, please don't spoil it.
That's what we were leading up to.
Yeah, basically. I remember posting that, and I was like, if any of you, and I felt bad because I think I told a story last year on one of my first times being invited to a stream, but my really good friend got The Force Awakens spoiled to him as Chewbacca on the first, when it came, like, opening night, because he was working the shift is when Vader and Vader and Chewie were meeting in the parks, but no one really knew they were there. And right after these kids saw the first screening of the movie, I guess
this guy was playing Chewbacca.
They ran, like, hauled their asses to Hollywood Studios and ran to Chewbacca and hugged Chewie so badly. They're like, oh my god, Chewie, I'm so sorry for what happened to Han. And this guy and my friend's like he started like, I'm pretty sure right after that, like, he gave the distress signal to, like, get off stage.
Oh, really?
And he did the distress signal to get off stage, and he told his captain, he goes, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. And I'm pretty sure he, like, left work that night. But yeah, people are ruthless, man. We have feelings too. Like, imagine in its opening night.
You don't have souls. You don't exist. You're just a thing at Disney World.
Oh my god. I think still my favorite moment of working at Disney as a Star Wars character is when George Lucas came.
Dude, though, if your story is, this is how I got A Force Awakens spoiled for me, and you tell that story, that's still pretty freaking cool, though.
Yeah,
like, you got children running up to you.
I felt terrible because I watched it. I avoided everything, and I went to go see the 11:55 showing of it in Disney Springs. But I felt so bad. I felt so bad because, like, I don't know. I feel like as a cast member, we have this mutual understanding that we don't spoil things for anybody. Like, it's just a mutual understanding. Of course, the guest will spoil it for us in the end.
And all they really wanted to do is, give Chewie a hug. They're just turned off.
I can't believe he did that to him.
I would have been so pissed.
Speaking of which, have you guys watched any of the Galactic Cruiser videos?
Oh yeah,
I have.
Oh, yeah.
I've had a few friends be invited to go. I need a
so
sugar daddy.
I watched Ordinary Adventures. They did, like, almost every hour of the day. So I watched all the Ordinary Adventure videos, and in one, they talk about the rescue Chewie adventure part of the weekend or whatever. And like they got this video because he just happened to be walking through the lobby and he kind of caught it, so he went and filmed it real quick, and it was all the children like screaming and like trying to hide Chewie and get him on a ship to like get away or something. And I'm gonna cry now because she was like, I saw them trying to save Chewie and it just like hurt my heart. I was crying and just watching her cry on video that the children are trying to save Chewie made me want to cry, that the children were saving Chewie. I just thought that'd be a cool way to have something spoiled for you, though. I don't know.
I mean, I was talking about it with Sam yesterday because there's a lot of critiques of the Galactic Cruise. Like, is it worth it for what you're getting?
Yeah.
And one of my friends dealing in absolutes like did a perfect breakdown video. I shared it on my Instagram story.
Oh yeah, the price is
worth
not
it.
really. Yeah, it's not that expensive when you're really dealing with like an all-inclusive cruise.
Yeah.
So you put it like that with the
All-inclusive,
meals
like
and the
if
park
you're
day.
Yeah, the park, because I was like saying 2 nights at, like, for example, if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, Contemporary, Bailey, Poly, regardless, or Saratoga Springs or any of those resorts, without like DVC in it, without anything, without any discounts, you're pretty much paying $400 to $500 a night. So that's $1,000 right there. And then you have the ticket to get into studios, which is like around $110. And then you have the food, and then you have like the entertainment itself. Like you have like the ambient, like the price makes sense. I wish you didn't have to. The only thing that I think that's a little bit frustrating. I wish you didn't have to call them to book it. You could just book it online, like a normal Disney hotel.
Well, it's
call the
more
certain
like
call center to book it. I think that's stupid.
Or do you actually call a certain place?
You have to call the. They won't allow you to do. You could see what dates are available, or what if there's anything that's free. Like the next few months, I think they're pretty much booked. But if you look at August, like there's actually a cruise time from around my birthday, and I'm just like, do I drop $1,200? Do I drop $1,200? I'm telling this in my head. But it won't let you like go and see how much it's gonna cost, or if you can do a payment plan, if you can like do a deposit. Like, it doesn't say anything like that. You have to call them. I'm like, that. I hate that. I don't want to talk to people.
I looked at what it costs for Disney Vacation Club points to go, and
is it even
eligible? Yeah. And we could actually go. It would take us. We'd have to spend a year's worth of points, but we've got so many fucking points that we could actually go and do this once, which surprises me. I didn't think it would be that. I thought it'd be more like we'd have to use 2 or 3 years worth of points. But I just don't know, man. I mean, that's 2 days of being kind of stuck doing the Star Wars thing, and you don't have to play along, but if you're not playing along, it feels like you're kind of wasting your money,
Oh, yeah. I would take an edible and take it all in. I'm like,
I'm
being immersed in this shit, man.
But it'd be like me and my wife, and I would be really into it, but I don't know that she would be really into it.
I feel like I think she can. I think
she's got to find the right drug. She'll enjoy it.
Well, we've got plenty of the right drugs.
Oh my god. No, I think she will be able to enjoy it. I feel like, because I even saw some reviews of people that aren't as big Star Wars fans go and still found it enjoyable. Like, they still found certain parts to kind of learn and see why people love Star Wars as much as we do.
Now, I saw too that they'll let you go in full costume to the Star Cruise. So, and then I saw an Instagram post of a dude in a full Mandalorian saying he was getting ready to go. Now, they won't let you go as like Din Djarin, will they?
I don't know. I think the cosplay rules.
I heard it was no helmet.
Still in effect. I feel like if you were to completely be
they
won't let you.
Leia, what's her name? Leia, the
Ordinary
little
Adventures.
She went as Padme. I mean, she went full on Padme in the Padme. The Padme costume. So you can dress as recognizable characters. I don't know if you could wear a helmet. I know kids can. I don't know if you could wear a helmet. Now, you can't wear that to your excursion to Batuu. But
oh yeah,
I mean, it makes me wonder. Like, obviously I could wear the Jedi outfit That's not.
Oh,
a
I think
problem.
that's
But man,
100% acceptable. I think they
I'd
even
love to wear the
encourage you.
Mandalorian, even if I didn't have the helmet. Just wear the rest of the Mandalorian. That
I
would
think
be
they
pretty
encourage
cool.
you to kind of really dress in galactic wear.
Yeah.
But then my thought was, why not do it like this? Like actually go, bring your camera, create a backstory for your character, and actually shoot a damn Star Wars movie. I mean, because you've got a roadie in there that talks. There's Chewbacca. There's you could do your own little make your backstory. You're a smuggler trying to get something off of
I
Ratu.
would be turning 28, but I would still do that. Like I'd
That
be
would
like,
be so
oh, my name's
so-
not Natalia. My name is Jedi. No, it's
Yeah,
Empress.
absolutely. I mean,
Ren.
absolutely, and just go full on crazy into it. So
I
sorry.
like what Ordinary Adventures said in their video about that, because what they said was they seem to have forgotten all the rules of Bat 2 when it comes to dressing in character. It seems as if anything goes right now, but we think that could be a just right now. This is the press, whatever preview. Like, who knows?
So they may
Maybe the
tone it
Bat 2
down.
costume rules might apply here too. We really don't know yet. That's the way they stated it, which I thought that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, and it's honestly worth the price because you get full on. You can eat. I think it's certain hours, but there's full on
you get
buffets.
2 breakfast, 2 lunch, and 2 dinner. But if you even combine that alone, if I was telling Sam, if you were to go to a character dining experience for
And the
breakfast
dinner
or
is
dinner,
that
it
the
costs
dinner's
you
a
roughly
show.
around $40 to $80 per person. So it
I've
is
never
expensive.
argued that the value isn't there. Like,
I think we all
you
at
can-
one point were just like, oh, it's too expensive. But now seeing the reviews,
it's expensive. I think my problem was when they finally released video, I was like, it doesn't look like Star Wars. And then when you saw it, I was like, okay, I could kind of see this as the touristy Star Wars, and I think part of what helped sell it was Din riding that mass transit to Tatooine.
Yeah,
Because it kind of felt, like that. That's what the Star Cruiser feels like, and so I kind of dig that. And the I don't know if you've seen, somebody had a time lapse of the screen in their room, and it's fucking cool because when you go into hyperspace, it goes into hyperspace, and planets are going by, TIE fighters are flying by when there's different battles going on. It's like
my only thing is if I were to do it, half of me doesn't want to go really, really high, because when I get really high, especially when I'm near bedtime, I will pass out for hours. I need to take in every single I basically can't sleep for 48 hours is what I'm getting.
I would just have so much fun there. So I don't know. That's going to be a hard decision because that's, normally we can go 2 or 3 times a year for that amount of points. And this would be for a 2-day vacation.
Do you guys think that it takes a major commitment in wanting to role play to go to that?
No.
I'm a bit of an introvert.
No.
Y'all are part of my bubble now, so I can let loose with y'all. But just strangers in public, gosh, I might be like, oh yeah, I don't know, maybe someone else can push the button.
It is very hard because just because you're comfortable with your own bubble, the second you're out of your bubble, but even if you're surrounded by your bubble, you still feel other eyes on you. And you're like, these people could think of me as weird, and you just are there to have a good time. And it's kind
I'm
of
sure
like
the cast does a great job of making people feel comfortable, but
that's great.
Yeah.
I still think I'd be scared to participate.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the weird, here we're at dinner with a bunch of people I don't know. I don't like going to restaurants usually. I don't like, I'm not a go out and about, which is odd because I love Disney.
Get those people away
I love
from me.
Disney World, which is, the most crowded fucking place in the world. But I'm like you. I'd rather just sit back. I like Disney. I like to people watch at Disney. And I think you could do that here. I think you could go and just sit back. And not just that, I think you could legitimately have full on entertainment with some of the freaks that are going to be there. And I say that's a loving term because I would be one of those freaks. I mean, some
people are willing to fly their nerd flag. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So,
we do it every single time we're on stream. Yeah, this is not my flag right here. I don't know what this is.
It would be fun. It would be fun, So
I'll be honest, I'm really past the point of frigging caring.
And you see, I was at that point with Elvis when I first came into this community because I was just like, I'm not comfortable enough to show my true self with everybody. But over time, especially like here in the me moving to Atlanta, me being in the film industry, I haven't been able to express my full nerding, like my full self, because especially on this movie, I'm working with people that, you know, are friends with some of my favorite Star Wars characters. I can't go and be all nerdy around them saying I'm obsessed with Adam Driver. I can't be nerdy and say like,
Yeah, you should be embarrassed of that.
I'm obsessed with Adam Driver. I mean,
like for
Sorry, I
example,
couldn't
this is
resist.
my
A little bit.
background on my phone, right? You can't see anything, but the second I touch it, like the people can never know. But I think I would be able to push my own boundaries on the Galactic Star Cruiser, just because it may feel weird because you're going to be embarking with people you've never met, but at the same time, I have such a passion for Star Wars. I think I'm willing to push my introverted bubble a bit to be like, this is going to be a once in a lifetime experience, at least for me. Like, I don't think I'll probably do the Galactic Star Cruiser more than once, unless I've won the lotto and decided to go all fucking year.
I'll be honest, I don't think I will ever do the Galactic Star Cruiser because geography.
yeah, I mean, for you, it just seems like that would be a huge waste of just the amount. Well, I guess if you did it on top of another Disney vacation,
Right.
so that's 2 days
Yeah,
and you're
you got
done. But
4
otherwise, it
days
doesn't
at
make
Disney
sense.
and then 2
Yeah.
nights there. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
it
there
doesn't
you
make
go.
sense
That's
otherwise.
that takes a vacation that costs in the region of
It doubles your vacation. Yeah.
$4 to $6 grand to 12 grand.
Yeah, easy.
That
But
is,
I mean, come on, man. How much do you love Star Wars?
yeah, man, but that's like 60% of my fucking salary.
Sell
So-
a lightsaber.
what you just said, though, Tim. The how much do you love Star Wars? Do you not think Disney's got a little bit of that attitude right now? Like,
Yeah, that's exactly.
do you
They've
love
got
Star
that
Like,
Wars?
going.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. Come feed from my hands.
Well, Disney's like, how much do you love
Come.
Disney right now? I mean, that's Disney's always been that, and that's what it is. It is what it is. But
Here's a question, though. How long do you think it's going to be before they drop those prices?
I hope not long.
If I'm to be quite honest, I
it's a supply
don't
and
think they
demand thing.
will. With Bob Chapek as president,
I mean,
I
not
think
only
you're
that,
right.
I'm
I think
saying,
you're right.
it as with Bob Chapek as president, because I've never, in my 7.5 years working for the Walt Disney Company, and yes, Bob Iger had his flaws, and there were some increases in prices little by little as I was working, but they were never astronomical. The second the other Bob came into presidency, all of a sudden, everything was going up. Lightning lane you have to pay for. Parking went up. Ticket prices escalated. Now that the Galactic Star Cruiser being at the price that it is, with him being president, he ain't going to be bringing that down anytime soon.
I think they would run years at half capacity versus bringing the price down.
and I absolutely love Disney, and the only way that I can afford to do Disney is because we have that Disney Vacation Club, and it doesn't cost us the same to stay as it does everybody else. That it's already basically paid for. We're paying our dues and our maintenance dues is all we really.
Quick
owe
question
it.
on that.
Yeah.
So by signing up for that to truly get the discount, are you basically saying, "All right, honey, we're vacationing at Disney forever"?
Yeah.
Like that. You're just you're
But you've
agreeing
got
to that when you buy
in
into that.
addition to Disney, in which they've got Disney World, they've got Disneyland. They also
Aulani,
have
yeah.
a place in Hilton Head. They've got a thing in Hawaii. They've got a thing in Vero Beach, Florida. Then they also have this Destinations by Disney where you can go to Europe, you can go to, and you can not just, go there. You can also do an upgraded one where you're doing it with Disney as your guide. So you basically, it's like doing Walt Disney World in, Spain.
Okay,
So
so
you know that everywhere
you're
you
saying
go-
we're agreeing to be within the Disney umbrella of
Mhm.
entertainment for the rest of our lives when you buy into that. Like we're
Yeah.
just accepting that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Or I mean, you can also sell out of it. It's like any,
Oh.
so it's like any, and the resale is not bad at all.
Yeah, people there's people with
Yeah, it's like any
Elvis and
time. So
Sam.
basically, we purchased 50 years of Disney vacations. So you buy a certain amount of points, and those points enable you to get rooms. And the Disney vacation hotels are only the really nice hotels. So we have a certain amount of points that we can then spend and get basically 2 weeks at a really nice Disney hotel, probably a 2-bedroom one that they have. 2 weeks out of the year is how many points we have. But it's like buying a house. I mean, you're paying or half of a house, basically.
Basically, like even if you're like investing in a car.
Yeah. But we did it the first one because we've got 2 different contracts. First contract, we paid $5,000 down and then paid it off within like 2 years. Second one, we just bought the whole thing. So it's just kind of what you want to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But
people on these sites that they resell their points to make income too.
When we did it, our daughter was 6, so it made sense. We knew we were going to have that many. Or sorry, she was 8, so we knew we had several vacations coming, and then we figured afterwards we either get rid of it or start using it for other stuff. But then Disney bought Star Wars, and I was like, "Fuck yes!" All right, now I'm in it for good. Then they build Millennium Falcon, and now I get to see the Millennium Falcon every single year.
And forgive all the questions. I need to plan my trip to Disney right now. So we're planning to go in May or June.
Again, first time, you don't need to. I wouldn't do. We'll talk offline at some point, but you can rent vacation points.
You can.
You mentioned it to me.
That's the way to go. Go to look at David's vacation points rental.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
You can then stay at a really nice Disney hotel for much more affordable prices.
All right, I'm texting my wife. David's vacation
rentals. So then you can basically stay at the nicest Disney hotels, and you'll pay less than what you were going to be paying to stay at the Swan or the Dolphin there.
Yeah, and you still have better amenities. You have like if you're at the Magic Kingdom, if you're at Bay Lake or you're at
this time we're staying at Bay Lake. This time we're staying in the 3-bedroom, the 2-story that looks at Magic Kingdom. So
I think
remember that open. It's
I
gorgeous.
need to invest in a plane.
Well, everybody needs to invest in a plane.
They still have the tarmac back there.
You need to go. Disney Paris has actually got some really cool stuff. You should go there.
Yeah, but Galaxy's Edge has been delayed until 2025.
Oh, well, that's not that far away, dude.
3 years, dog. Come on.
How long did it take to get Galaxy's Edge after the purchase of Disney?
They started on it immediately. I mean, it was almost immediately. Yeah.
Wait, we acquired it in 2012?
Yeah.
2012.
Because I was down there with it. Yeah.
So I remember I started with the company in 2013. 2014, they did Star Wars weekends. 2015, they destroyed the Art of Animation building and created a little Star Wars Galaxy, Star Wars launch bay with the characters. Yeah. And then they started shutting down all the shows. So the Backlot Tour, Lights, Motor, Action, all those attractions back there. And then finally, when that land was completely they started construction on Galaxy's Edge, which is why they had that Star Wars show where you saw the Darth Vader and Boba Fett and Darth Maul, because that was their basically getting everyone hype for what Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be. And then, of course, Galaxy's Edge opened in 2019.
So 2012 to 2019.
Plus, the other thing as well is I want to come and see the Millennium Falcon, not the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I mean,
it's not the French version of it.
You don't like French people? Is that what you're saying?
I want to come. I'm pretty
sure. Do you?
I fucking don't.
I thought you were so international, Sam.
Yeah, but good. Here's the thing, right? I'm a citizen of the world, but there's two things you can never ignore.
You might as well just put an American flag behind you, dude. Like,
I probably should. However, I digress, right? The bottom line is there's two facts that you cannot get away with or ignore in this world. And it is, and I can say this because I'm part English and I'm also part French. The English and the French are surrounded by people who fucking hate them.
You're not wrong, yeah. Everyone hates them.
I
And
didn't
they're
think
only
anyone
divided,
hated English people.
and they're only divided. They're only divided by 16 miles of ocean.
And a tube.
Yeah, and a long tube. Yeah,
And a long tube.
that's it.
All right, I want to bring it back real quickly to Kenobi before
Let's
it's
do
getting
that.
close
We got
to 9.
far.
We're gonna close it down. No, but I enjoyed that. That was fun. So this is my one question for everybody. I want you guys to kind of make your own prediction. So, hello there. Do we get it first line, first episode, every episode, or like not at all, or last episode? So for me, I would love to see first line, but I feel like we're in too dark of a place where the show starts. And I wonder if it's not going to be some type of ironic hello there when, he sees Vader. But I think we will get it first episode, just it won't be first line.
I think it'll be first episode, but I don't think it'll be as enthusiastic as it has been in the past.
Almost
I
even
think-
like an offhand, like he'll see, like when he's looking at Luke through the binoculars, like he could just say it to himself. Like,
I think at the marketplace where you see him
Yeah.
cutting up some meat, and it's just a case of someone's talking like, "Oh, hello there,"
yeah, just like
not the cocky kind of hello there that we're used to,
Mhm.
like. So
I think we got to get that once, I really do.
maybe.
Elvis, what do
I
you
don't know,
think?
Tim. I think there might be something to it at the very, very beginning, episode 1. This build up. What are those tall drums called? Tiffany drums or something?
Yeah.
Got the Tiffany
Tiffany.
drum roll. Close up on Ewan McGregor, and he's like, "Hi." Like, just there could be like this. You expected the moment, and we threw the lightsaber over our shoulder. Luke Skywalker, grumpy uncle. Like they could do something silly like that.
I don't know.
I hope
Matt,
not.
What do you think?
I do believe it'll be first episode. I don't think it's gonna be first line. I think with how this first episode goes, I don't think the first thing we're gonna see is Obi-Wan. I think something else is gonna be on the screen first.
Going to set up the bad guys and
like he will come in. I think he'll come in within the next. I predict he'll be on camera probably within the 10-minute mark. 5 to 10
All
minutes.
right, I got another theory. Another
Okay.
stupid theory. It'll be a scene with a fight, and he jumps in from the high ground,
That'll be awesome.
and he says, "Hello there," and that's where the joke is, because everyone's gonna say General Kenobi, but he's not General Kenobi anymore. So
nobody.
they'll have a play on that, like, "Who are you?" or something silly,
They're like,
They
how did
could-
you not break your legs from jumping, bro?
There's potential.
Whatever it is, it's going to be memorable.
Yeah, I think they've got to have it. I almost feel like they've got to have. I've got a bad feeling about this, just because of the. This is more of a spin-off of the movies, and I think you're going to have some of the feel of that original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and I think it's going to lean more towards prequel trilogy with those music cues that we got in the trailer. So I think that.
Oh, dude, did you see what John just wrote?
I see.
He says, "What if he says hello there to Darth
That's what I'm
Vader?"
wondering. I mean, like seriously, like kind of just hello there. I mean, is there a way to change it, like to make it intimidating because I'd love to see it delivered in a brand new way,
Could you
I'd also
imagine?
love to see it delivered in that standard, because he was basically just copying Alec Guinness's very first thing that he said to R2, that hello there. So it would be kind of cool to see it delivered in a new way. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for all being here tonight. I know that that was 2 hours of just randomly speculating about a minute and a half that blew our minds earlier this week. I mean,
We have
seriously,
what we
gone
do best.
longer for less.
when Duel of the Fates played, I for real got chill bumps, and it just, I mean, it was kind of like strap in, game over, here we go. So I want to thank you guys for coming. I want to thank everybody that was here watching tonight. I do appreciate it. And we will do this again. When we get another trailer, I'm going to, put the invite out to all you guys again, and we'll come back and do this, one more time. And then obviously when the show starts, I'll probably do a couple in there. I know Sam's typically doing a post-show thing, and I'd love to join in those. But I'll probably do one or two afterwards.
Just to talk that I already have my after-show graphic made.
Yeah,
months in advance.
Got a set built. We're good to go.
I am so upset. I will be watching, I think, the first episode, and I won't be able to be.
Oh,
we will sort something.
Thank you guys for being here. Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to call it a night. May the force be with all of you.
May the rage be with you.